Thank you for taking this interview. Do you believe that historically black colleges and universities are relevant today?
Yes, because without HBCUs, who else would care about African Americans? African Americans need extra help outside of, well, more than Caucasians. During attending the HBCU, you learn more about black history, but when you go to a PDI, you don't get that opportunity. So I feel like without an HBCU, we wouldn't know, we wouldn't be able to expand our knowledge on black history.
Okay. So, why did you attend an HBCU?
More so for that reason, because all of my parents attended HBCUs, all of my family members attended HBCUs except one, and HBCUs are just, I feel like, offer a better opportunity. Yes, people say that HBCUs don't look right on your resumes, but I feel like it give you that extra push and make you work harder to where you want to get.
Okay, so I'm glad that you mentioned your family attending HBCUs. Did any of your family attend Jackson State?
Yes.
Okay, so let's kind of sway the conversation. So when they attended here, I'm sure that there were several buildings that probably weren't put up. So it's a lot of new things here at Jackson State. Can you name just one of at least one of those buildings that wasn't here when they were?
The legacy, I would say. And
Okay.
that's because, well, I know my uncle, he attended here and actually played football with Walter Payne. And there he was, the legacy definitely wasn't here around that time. So
Okay. So now let's focus on the legacy or the student center, what some students call it. And in the legacy, they serve food, right? Okay, so what are some of the foods that they serve in the legacy?
You have Chick-fil-A, Pizza Hut, you have the taco restaurant, the soul food restaurant, and that's about it. They have salad, like a salad bar as well, and snacks.
So let's talk deep more into that. So do you think those foods that are being served in the legacy or the student center, do you necessarily think that those foods are healthy?
Not at all.
Okay, so can you tell me?
And I feel like as a young adult, we should eat more healthy foods. And serving pizza, eating pizza every day, and Chick-fil-A fried food is not good. I feel like we should have more salad bars. We should have more ways where we could have options instead of always just going, let's get pasta from Pizza Hut, let's get a Chick-fil-A sandwich. It's just not good. And then also with the drink machine as well, no one goes in there and even notice that it has water on the drink machine because it's not a label. So people immediately get sodas.
Okay. So let's look at Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut. Since they aren't really the actual Chick-fil-A and the actual Pizza Hut, they're kind of like an express, right? So I know at Pizza Hut, some people may say, well, it's healthy because I get a supreme pizza, which comes with vegetables and stuff like that. Or they'll say, well, I'll get Chick-fil-A because I get the grilled chicken nuggets or the grilled sandwich. Do you think that it's bad that here on campus we only have an express Pizza Hut and an express Chick-fil-A that since it doesn't serve the full menu? So it's really like, are we getting the healthier choices from those two chains?
No, we're not. Because I actually myself eat at Chick-fil-A a lot. And no, me myself personally have never gotten a grilled chicken sandwich from the Chick-fil-A Express on campus. But as far as I go to another Chick-fil-A off of campus, I know because I see it on the menu. You don't really see those options on the menu. So even if they do serve it, it's no way that we would be able to know because they don't advertise it. So as far as advertisement, I feel like that they should do better on that.
Okay. So let's move on to the salad bar. Do you actually see students partaking in the salad bar?
Not really. Maybe 1 out of 10. You
Mm.
mostly see teachers, faculty members
Mhm.
using the salad bar, but really not students.
So, do you think maybe the reason why the faculty members are going toward the salad bar versus the unhealthier choices because maybe that they're aware that health is a serious issue?
Yes, because kids think, well, young adults think that they are young so they won't have health problems.
Hmm.
And you can get a health problem at any age. So they feel like they can just go and eat anything and be fine,
Hmm.
for right now.
So, name me another place. Can you name me another place on campus that serves foods to students?
The calf.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the options that are actually in the cab. What are some of the options in there?
You have the pasta line, the salad bar, the main line with the entrees,
Hmm.
and then you have the pizza line, burger line, and hot dogs.
Okay. So, out of those options, which options do you think are actually healthy options?
I really only can say the salad bar.
Hmm. Do you, excuse me, do you see students actually partaking in the salad bar?
Once again, not necessarily.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. If we have the salad bar in the student center and we have the salad bar in the cab, but nobody's really partaking in it, even though I'm clearly you're more of a health conscious person, do you think it's a waste of money having both or having either in each setting since nobody really partakes in them?
I would say that it's a waste of money, but then again, I feel like it's not because, like I said, in the legacy, you do see a few students and
Hmm.
faculty members eating on the salad bar, and in the cab, you might see a little bit more. Even though it's not a majority of people on campus, it's
Hmm.
still some who use it.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't say that it's a waste of money, but maybe they could cut back,
Hmm.
on some of the items that are on the salad bars. They have different type of dressings and things that you can put on your salad. They might cut back on that, but as far as cutting the whole thing completely out, I don't think so.
Okay. So, does the calf offer, let's say, desserts or something?
Yes, ice cream, cakes, pies.
Okay, so let's look at those two. Besides the salad bar and even to the desserts, it's ice cream and it's cake and it's pies and it's cookies. Do you think that the calf is health conscious as it should be?
No.
Okay. So let's sit and let's compare the two. Do you think more students would rather go to the cab or would they rather go to the student center to eat lunch?
I feel like students would rather go to the student center to eat lunch, but they don't because you actually have to pay for it, the food out of pocket.
I'm glad you mentioned paying for it and mentioned money. So, with that being said, even though students would rather go to the student center to eat lunch, you have to pay for it. So with tuition, you are supposed to get free lunch as far as the cap. Do you think that that's unfair to students? Um, that they have I guess I should say the weaker option because that's what's free and the better option you actually have to pay for?
So the question was, do I think that it's unfair?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I definitely think that that's unfair. I feel like either way it goes, we still are paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're paying for them to feed us good food in the cab, whether we paying for it right out of pocket straight then and there or paying for it ahead of time. We still should be able to have good options and be able to go in the cafe and get what we like. Because I know a lot of people who decide not to go in the cafe at all
Mm-hmm.
because there are options in there that they don't eat, are allergic to. And that's another thing. They don't really tell us what exactly is in the food.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, yeah, it's a very unfair opportunity.
Okay. So let's move on to uh, something else. What do you feel are some of the challenges of attending an HBCU?
Some of the challenges, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that people look at students who attend HBCUs as if they're not learning anything.
Mm-hmm.
They look at us as if we don't have, like, we won't have the greater opportunity as attending the PDI, and basically that we won't get a job. Like I said before, putting an HBCU on your resume, people always say it doesn't look good. Already being an African American person,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look good. So that's why people try to expand and tell African Americans, oh, attend the PDI so that you can have a greater opportunity. You can win people votes and everything, but people won't have their own mind, so people still attend HBCUs.
Okay. So you've actually attended a PWI.
Yes.
Okay, and which one was that?
University of Memphis.
Okay, so let's talk some about the University of Memphis. What were some of the differences?
Well, there you have white students, black students. You even see, different races, a lot of Asians and etc. of that nature.
So it wasn't really like a collective togetherness. It pretty much was kind of separated, but you don't want to
Yeah.
say that it was segregated. Okay, so excuse me. Let's talk more about the food that they actually serve there. What are some of the options that they have at the University of Memphis? What are some of the food options that they have on their campus?
On their campus, they have a Panda Express, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A. You have a Steak and Shake, Subway, Starbucks, Einstein Bagels, and that's really about it that we had in the union.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's all in their union there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so out of some of those foods, I'm sorry, some of those food chains, do you think that they provide healthy options?
Yes, because everyone knows, that Subway is a better choice than choosing Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, yes, I said they did have a Chick-fil-A on their campus, a lot of people do eat at Subway.
Mm-hmm.
And also, with Taco Bell wouldn't be a first choice that I would say is healthy, but they do have on the menu. It do advertise that they do have grilled chicken as an option, and they do have salads as an option. So I feel like yes, it is a better. They do advertise their food more.
So you think that advertising actually helps the brand because it helps the students who might want this, but they might want to pick the healthier option because it's like, well, at least I know I can still have this, but I can actually choose the healthier option. Okay, so let's kind of spin off of that. Do students eat more in their union at University of Memphis versus their CAF?
Yes.
Okay, so why do you think that? What are some of the things that they actually serve in the CAF, or is it pretty much the same thing?
It's pretty much the same thing as far as just like we have fried chicken Wednesdays and fish on Fridays. It's pretty much the same options, but as far as the CAF at University of Memphis, it is better options as far as people do go to the salad bar more. And I don't know if it's because you have Caucasian people there, so because that's who you mostly see at the salad bars. But people still eat more in the union than they do in the CAF.
Okay, so you think that that's pretty much everywhere just because the union provides more branded options?
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
So with students there, since it was a PWI, predominantly white institution, from your perspective, when you were going to lunch, do you think more Caucasian people chose the healthier option versus the few black people that you were around?
Yes, of course.
Um, so let's talk more on that too. Do you do you think that the government, like federal, state, and local, does enough to preserve and encourage HBCUs?
I feel like they're starting to,
Mhm.
but in the beginning, I feel like they pushed HBCUs completely to the back
Mhm.
and made it, tried to make it aware to people that HBCUs weren't important.
Mhm.
And I feel like now, like I said, they're doing a better job as to coming here, visiting us, making sure that everything is on track, but everything is still not on track.
Mhm.
So they should just, I guess, kind of open up a little bit more to
Mhm.
HBCUs and show us a little more attention and care, just like they do PWIs.
Mhm. So, since we're speaking of the government and you're pretty big on advertising, do you think, I guess we would say the state of Mississippi, since we're talking about Jackson State again, do you think that the government plays a role in what food selections we have here on campus?
Mm, I really never thought about it like that,
Mhm.
but as you asked that question, I believe that they do because I know a lot of things have to get approved for university.
Mhm.
And so, since seeing attending a HBCU and a PWI and seeing that they basically kind of have the same food choices in the cab,
Mhm.
it definitely probably has to get approved by the government.
So, do you think as students we should actually, I don't know, take charge since we speak about the CAF and we say, well, the CAF really isn't our favorite option, but, like you said, you think that the government probably does play a part in that. So do you think that students should actually rally the fact that, we should be able to choose what we eat on campus?
Yes, because we're eating it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see faculty members in the cab. You don't
Mm-hmm.
see, the president of the university in the cab. You see nothing but students,
Mm-hmm.
college students, and I feel like we need their voice to be able to express to everybody, the government, the faculty members, what we want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Why walk in the cab and have choices that you have never seen before, that
Mm-hmm.
you have never heard of before, and you have to eat it because you don't have the money or the time or the vehicle to go and, get food from fast food restaurants off and on campus.
Okay, so let's that's a good point that you just made that there are food places on and off campus. So let's look at off campus places. Let's go back to you and the University of Memphis. What were some of those places that were around campus, at least in walking or not a far driving distance?
There were there are you have Ching's, which is a wing place.
Mhm.
Crumpets is also a wing place, and you have Moe's as well. And Moe's is actually a healthy
Mhm.
place to eat. And you also have another wing and burger place called the restaurant.
Okay, so out of those options, did you see students actually going to those places?
Yes, all the time. And I guess that's due because also, unlike a HBCU, at these places around campus, you can use your what we call the Jackson State Tiger books, and
Mhm.
there they call them just books,
Mhm.
and you can use those at those other places. And so I guess it helps, especially in malls. It helps because they give you discounts and
Mhm.
stuff. So yes, a lot of people did eat at those places.
Okay. So looking back at Jackson State, what were some of the options the closest options to campus that students could actually walk to that were off campus?
You have Stamps Burger, Chicago style food truck, Wild Wings, and Subway in Boston.
Okay, so out of those options, what do you think? Which place do you think really just serves healthy food?
Subway.
Okay. So, and a lot of people mention Subway when they mention healthy food. Let's look at Subway's menu really quickly. Do you think that Subway is a healthy place to eat, but do you think that depending on what you put on your sandwich shapes how healthy Subway actually is?
Yes, of course. Because some people will go in Subway and just get the Italian bread, turkey, lettuce, and ranch. And then some go in there and get Italian bread, turkey, ham, meatballs, etc. So it really depends on, I guess, the person and what they get on their sandwich. It's healthy to a certain extent.
Okay. So, do you think culture and does the culture and environment in historically black colleges and universities encourage healthy lifestyles?
I feel like they think that they do, but they really don't. And I say that they think that they do because I guess they offer classes and they pass out flyers. Sometimes you see people walking around the campus passing out flyers about eating healthy, but that isn't enough. You have to take that extra push and have organizations. We have all these different organizations on campus, but you don't see an organization about eating healthy and picking those healthy options.
So you talk about promotion. Do you think at Jackson State they promote enough about eating and being healthy?
No, not at all.
So when you say they hand out flyers and this and that, do you think it's just to hand them out just because maybe they had to?
Yes. And that's a lot of things people do. People do things because they have to. And so they don't really care if people read the flyer because the flyers be, just laying on the ground around campus. They don't really care if people read the flyers, actually pay attention to the flyers. They just want to get them out. So I feel like it's pointless in a way.
Okay, so let's move back to environment really quickly. The environment at the University of Mississippi. The University of Memphis. Think of the surrounding area. Let's say, even though they seem to provide a lot of food options for students, do you think that if a thriving business wants to move their business or expand their business, the environment around the University of Memphis, do you think a business would actually say, yeah, I want to move to this environment?
Yes, because it's clean, it's nice, it's a big, beautiful campus, and everybody wants to be around it. Everybody wants, and then the students, it's a lot of people there, so having a business, by someone who have a big population of students is a good thing.
So let's turn it around and let's look at Jackson State. Think about where Jackson State is located and its environment. Let's say McAllister's wants to expand and we want to move closer to a campus. Do you think McAllister's would want to be around this environment?
No, because it's dirty. It's in the hood. You see a lot of homeless people, cats, dogs, maybe seeing rats and snakes. I mean, it's horrible. And if Jackson State, was anywhere else, then maybe. But the place that it's at right now is nowhere anybody would really want to be if they had, another option.
So basically, you think that the environment that the school is around actually plays a part in it too.
definitely plays a part.
Okay, so moving back to promotion and getting students who want to be healthy, especially Black students, we we know that there's gyms on both campuses. Did you see, Black students actually going to the gym at either schools? Like, did they actually go to the gym and actually work out? And this is a daily basis thing for them.
Daily basis
Mhm.
at the HBCU, no.
Mhm.
You might see them once or twice, and
Mhm.
if they are in there, they don't know, what they're doing, or they're
Mhm.
playing around, or something of that sort. At a PWI, once again, you see more of the Caucasian people
Mhm.
on a daily basis. African Americans, no. And even with that, around the University of Memphis, people run. Like I said, it's a big campus. So people run around the campus and around the campus.
Mhm.
Even people who don't attend, because back to the environment, it's a good environment and they feel safe. So
Okay, so that I'm glad you mentioned that as well. Do you think if students wanted that option to run around Jackson State for exercise, they did want to go to the gym, would it be safe for them to do that?
no.
Mm.
It has been times, where all you hear, in the dorms at Jackson State is police, police sirens and ambulance and fire trucks, and that's scary. Don't nobody want to be outside getting chased by a dog, or having to watch your back because you're scared that someone is going to come and shoot you, or a homeless man is going to try to rob you for your money, or something of that sort. So it's definitely not safe.
So it's really not safe to just take it upon yourself to
No, and
self exercise, basically.
Basically, even if you're with a group of people exercising around Jackson State, I probably still wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. So, what have been your experiences thus far? Like, what are some of your most positive experiences while attending an HBCU?
Some of my positive experiences is, I guess, being having to be around people that's like me, and getting to know people that's like me. Not saying that I didn't get that experience at a PWI, but it's a better experience at HBCU, because there are more people like me. There are more people who believe in what I believe in and want to get to where I want to get. And then the organizations, you be in these organizations, say as SGA or Essence of a Lady Tiger, and you get the experience that you wouldn't get from a PWI, because in those organizations you have more of the Caucasian people to take over, and they don't give African Americans an opportunity to join those organizations. So being a part of everything, just taking part of everything on campus.
So, what were some of the positive experiences when you attended the University of Mississippi?
I would say basically having a bigger campus, having better dorms, having the opportunity to meet people outside of my race, and to know that we kind of had the same similarities, but not like I had with the people at Jackson State.
So, I guess here's another question. Do you actually think that PWIs, looking back on this interview and some of the things we talked about, do you think predominantly white institutions provide more healthier options at their institutions versus at HBCUs?
Yes, because it's a PWI, and you have Caucasian people there. So they are going to make sure that Caucasian people are taken care of, and that they have the best. And so I guess that can be another advantage of attending an PWI. You're gonna be taken care of. So you just kind of fit your way in, and fit your way in with the white people. And
Okay. So, are there any questions that I can answer for you at this time?
No, no, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your participation.
Okay.